Hello, welcome back. Britain's biggest water supplier says it could run out of cash by next May if it can't raise more funds.
Thames Water is heavily in debt and could be nationalised by the new UK government. The company has faced fierce criticism over its track record of spilling sewage into the country's waterways. James Wallace is the chief executive of River Action, which campaigns to clean up British waterways. He told me what had gone wrong with the UK's water industry.
Well, deregulation is what's happened, a cutting of red tape for the past 14 years, which has allowed water companies like Thames Water to pollute with impunity whilst running to the hills with our money. They've accrued a huge amount of debt. They've given a lot of money to their shareholders as well, rather than investing in fixing their leaky infrastructure. And that's what we're witnessing right now. Our rivers, particularly the Thames and the Thames catchment, are full of dangerous pathogens like E. coli and also nutrients like phosphates and nitrates that are finishing off wildlife too.
Is nationalising water the answer? Because we know that water in England was largely privatised in 1989. Is nationalising the answer, or rather tighter controls, regulatory controls by government, no matter what system water is under?
Well, we definitely need to see a reform of our regulators. The Environment Agency and Ofwat are not capable of doing their jobs. They've had their teeth removed and their legs and feet bound. So it means that if you're a water company, you can put your shareholders' interest before the paying public and bill payers, and also before wildlife. So what we need to see here is a direct and urgent intervention where water companies are made to invest up front. And of course, shareholders need to be incentivised and need to be seen to make a return in a private market. But there may be situations like with Thames Water where they might benefit from a short or long period of nationalisation or municipalisation.
At the moment, Thames Water is saying that they want a 44% increase in bills for consumers between 2025 and 2030 because the need for upgrading our water systems is going to cost a lot of money. How are we going to fund the resources, the infrastructure that's required to look after this precious natural resource without quite literally selling ourselves down the river?
Well, I can't think of any other private business where the customer should pay for the capital expansion of the company providing a product or service. Instead of allowing shareholders to make, and they do make, very significant returns on their investments, why aren't they the ones that are covering the costs of expanding networks, increasing capacity, and dare I say it, fixing leaks? I mean, one of the most important things, whatever happens in the price review, the draft determination is being published this week, we must make sure that bill payers are not the ones clearing up the mess of the past. That's absolutely critical. Shareholders should be doing that. It's their responsibility, and the boards of the organisations responsible, particularly Thames Water in this case, and not bill payers to clean up the mess of the past.
Increased rainfall is one of the reasons given by Thames Water for the problems that they have had. Is that the sort of challenge that we need to be insulating ourselves against? And are you seeing that sort of mindset, that understanding come through?
Well, a little too late, I would say, by a few decades. You know, we've known for 40 years or more that climate change is going to wreak havoc on our infrastructure, particularly our combined sewage network, which has to deal with extra rainfall and groundwater ingress, so when water tables rise, as well as the growing population at the same time. However, there's some disingenuous communications being done by this particular organisation, Thames Water. They are telling everybody that it's only when they spill sewage because of high rainfall that they're responsible for polluting the river. That is absolutely not true. Under their permit licences, they are not required by the government to remove all bacteria and pathogens, microplastics, viruses and so on, which means that all treated effluent from all of their wastewater treatment plants is full or partially full of potentially dangerous bacteria. We know that because we've been testing this, and it means that people are worried about using the river that they should have free use of. So rowers, swimmers, kayakers and so on are putting their health and potentially their lives at risk. At the same time, Thames Water are telling us it's safe and it's not their fault, and that is absolutely misleading and wrong.